Hello, everyone. My name is Roberto Escobar, and I had long COVID. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey and my recovery journey and what I've gone through. So, in 2021, I ended up getting COVID. I was hospitalized. I came out the hospital, but I was extremely weak. And I noticed that I wasn't getting any better through the months. After a few weeks, I said, "What's going on?" I still had severe fatigue. I had POTS symptom. I didn't know what POTS was back then, but I noticed that when I would get up, I would get extremely dizzy and extremely nauseous. I had brain fog. I couldn't think clearly. I really had a hard time thinking things and remembering things. Just talking to my wife, I would forget so many things mid conversation. Simple things, little things. I also, my body was extremely fatigued. I thought that my body was weak from being in the hospital. But after a few weeks, I started realizing that it's not my body. I was kind of doing physical therapy at home, but I noticed it wasn't my body. It was this tiredness, this extreme fatigue that I had. And I never got better. I was never getting better. And this is when, after several months, maybe even a year, that's when I found out I had something called long COVID. And I couldn't do anything. It was pretty much, some days I was bedbound, some days I was housebound. Some days, I remember I had a good 2 weeks after about a year of having long COVID, after being discharged from the hospital. I remember, I think I had like a week and a half, 2 weeks, the best 2 weeks of my life. I remember back then. And I had no symptoms at all. And I was able to do things. I went to the store. I think we went to the mall, and no symptoms. I was so excited, and yeah. So that was a big deal. But then everything came back. All my symptoms came back. It was so weird. That's why I tried so many different things. I tried going to the doctors. I went to specialists. I went to my primary care. He didn't know what was going on. I went to my neurologist. We did a MRI of the brain with contrast, and he couldn't find anything. He said, "Your brain looks clean." We went to cardiologists, and we did several tests with the cardiologist. He said, "Your heart scan came back clean." And to be honest, I was hoping that they would find something, because if they did, then I knew what was wrong, and I can fix it, right? I can find a solution for it, take medications for it, do whatever I had to do. But I didn't. None of the specialists did find out anything. They weren't sure. They were lost about what this is. And that's when I started doing my own research, and I started trying different supplements, and I did cold plunging. I did sauna work, which made me personally worse because of the POTS. But I endured it. I purposely put myself through these things to figure out there's got to be a cure, because I didn't have any head trauma. The brain scans came back clean, meaning that there's no damage to the brain. So I was so skeptical. I was lost. I was like, what's going on? There's got to be a way to come back from this, to heal from this. And it took me a long time. It took me about 2 years to fully heal and fully recover. And I kind of want to give some tips on what I did. So like I said before, I was housebound, which was not good. It was very depressing. I felt very depressed. And it's natural. If you lose your ability to move around, to walk, to be able to run, the things I used to be able to do before. I used to work in the hospital, used to do tough 12-and-a-half-hour shifts. I used to be on my feet all day. And I had to be very physically engaged at work. That was, I was able to go to the gym. I was able to run before I got sick. I was able to do anything I wanted. And then all of a sudden I got sick. I couldn't run. I could barely take walks. Walks used to drain me. And that was tough. And I felt like I lost my life. And I didn't, for a long time, I didn't want to accept that I had this long COVID. Because to me, accepting that meant that I would continue to be sick. And it meant that I lost my life. And that was a hard grieving period. But I am back. I am back to running. I ran a half marathon a few months ago, actually about a year ago. I did I go to the gym. I do anything I want to do now. Anything I physically want to do. I don't get post-exertional malaise. It's a beautiful thing to have your life back. Personally, I feel like I have a better life now, better mentality. I'm not so stressed out about things. I don't push like I used to. And I kind of want to share 3 tips that help me recover from long COVID. And there's many tips that cause healing, but there's 3 that I'm going to share with you. Number 1, self-love. Learn self-love. Being kind to yourself. I think most of us are not taught what self-love is, or what it sounds like, what it feels like. To love yourself, approve of yourself, feel worthy of yourself without the need of earning it. I think that's extremely important. I think we feel like we need to prove something, prove our worth. We need to gain our worth, earn our love. And that's the incorrect belief. That's a toxic belief that a lot of us have. That's something I definitely had and struggled with. And to be honest with you, I think for the rest of my life I will continue to struggle, but I think I'm 90% strong and 10%, have weakness there. Before, I think I was 100% weak. So it's a big difference. I don't have that pressure of needing to prove anybody or even myself. If I feel like I have to prove myself something, that means there's a belief inside of me that believes I am not worthy enough just the way I am. And that's not true. And one way I kind of justify this is I am a religious person. I believe in God. And so if you believe in God, this may resonate with you. If you don't, I'll try to change the illustration a little. If you believe in God, you understand that your life, the way I see my life is I ask myself, is my life more valuable than someone else's life? Let's say they're homeless. Let's say they have no job, no nothing. They have a disease, or, they have a skin disorder. Does God value me more than them because I make more money or because I'm more industrious? No, I don't think so. I think God values our life the same. I think he sees inside of us things that we can't see in each other. So in that sense, if he accepts us, then, and we're not any better than each other, then you have to, for me, it really helped me understand that, maybe I should love myself. If I don't have to earn his love, and he just loves me the way I am, I don't have to earn anybody's love. I don't have to prove anything. And that's him. That's the highest standard. But let's say you're not religious. You can understand, I think if you're a nice person and you see a homeless person in the street, you do not believe, I hope you do not believe, that your life is somehow better than his life or her life. I think instinctively, I think we kind of understand that our life is not better than the other person and that person's life is not better than ours in a sense. So practicing self-love, reading some self-love books so you have an idea. Understanding polyvagal theory changed my life. It's what helped me heal. I really can't emphasize that enough. Polyvagal theory I won't explain it because it'll be too long, but polyvagal theory, it pretty much explains the nervous system. And for me, that's what helped me heal. I did polyvagal exercises. I was on a strict routine of polyvagal exercises. I did not push myself too much, but I had a strict routine of it. I didn't care how I felt. Your nervous system will make you feel like you shouldn't be doing your breathing exercises, your laughing yoga, your yoga, and certain other things. I did it every day for hours. So if you don't understand polyvagal theory, if you haven't heard of it, please look it up. I think it will be extremely helpful. My YouTube channel has an explanation, but you can find just do a YouTube search and you'll find great explanations on the polyvagal theory. And sticking to these polyvagal exercises to calm the nervous system down. And the third tip I have is understanding that your thoughts and your emotions are not you. Like the thoughts that you have are not you. Sometimes we have all these negative thoughts, the thoughts of anxiety, fear. Those thoughts are not you. You are the witness. You, the self, are witnessing these thoughts. You're able to create some distance from those thoughts. You are not defined by those thoughts. So you can have a thought that says, Rob, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. You can step back from that thought and say, okay, Take a breather and say, why am I thinking that? Why is my mind thinking that? And understanding, imagine you pull back away from your thoughts and you see those words floating. And understand that that voice is a part of you inside your mind. And the job of that voice is to protect you. It wants to protect you. And so you really want to not ignore the voice. You want to listen to it. You want to have empathy towards that voice. You want to ask it, why do you feel like you're in danger? What do you feel like you have to protect me from? And you want to be loving towards that voice. This kind of therapy work, I did a lot of self-therapy work. This is called IFS, or Internal Family System. You can look up books on it, or you can look up YouTube videos explaining this to give you a better idea. But understanding that my thoughts and the emotions I had were not me. You know, when I felt depressed, I used to tell myself, Rob, you're feeling depressed, but you're not depressed. You're feeling depressed, but you're not depressed. When I have these negative thoughts, I said, these thoughts are not truthful, Rob. They're not truthful. And I would put positive thoughts. I would repeat positive thoughts out loud. I'm healing. I'm getting better. I'm healing. I'm getting better. I would watch YouTube videos of people that have healed. That was big for my recovery because it built that faith. It built that hope that I can get better. Because at first you don't believe you can. You say, how is it possible that doing these little things can actually help me get better? So I think that's a big part. Those three things. So being kind to yourself, learning self-love, understanding polyvagal theory and doing those exercises every day, understanding and creating space from your thoughts, understanding that your thoughts and emotions are not you. You are witnessing those thoughts and emotions, but you are not defined by it. You don't have to identify with it. You can create new thoughts, repeat them out loud every single day, or you can repeat them in your mind. These are some of the things I did to get my life back. Some of the resources I want to share are books. There's a lot of books that I read that I think were extremely helpful, but I'll read a few. I'll recommend a few. 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do by Amy Morin. This will help you with your mindset. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. This explains being a witness to our thoughts. The Way of Integrity, Martha Beck. I really believe that if you live a life that is not within integrity of your heart and your soul, that you can get sick this way. If you're doing things because you're trying to please other people, and it's not within integrity of yourself and your values, I believe you can get sick, and that book kind of explains that. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Hausmetter. That's an important book about self-talk, the importance of having positive self-talk. And there's two movies that I recommend. This Might Hurt. It's a film by Howard Schumner, and the Heal documentary. Heal as Heal documentary. You can rent them online, and I think they're worth every dollar. So guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope the tips I share will provide some assistance or some help and some value in your life. Just know that you can get better. You can, don't give up. I know sometimes the post-exertional malaise, the symptoms beat you up, your negative thoughts. You feel depressed. It's okay to feel these things, guys. It's natural after you lost the functionality of your life. It's normal. It's okay. You can get your life back. Don't give up. Try these things. Try them, please. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day.